Hello and welcome to DCG's development update. We are here with the core, the platform, and the mobile teams to give you an update of what happened in the past 2 weeks. We will have a dedicated Q&A session at the end. So please prefix any questions for the Q&A with a Q or a question, so we will know it is dedicated to that part. All right, let's dive in and start with Sam and the platform team.
Sure. Hello, guys. So, platform side, pretty light. This review. Lucas is on vacation. I was on iOS. And so basically the only person to work on the platform team side, it was Paul, and he did work on Dash Evo tool. So we're gonna the platform part is gonna be pretty quick, but there is one very cool improvement that I want to talk about. So let's go to the next slide. So yeah, before leaving, Lucas had really was working hard on trying to finish this RS Dappy. And when he went on vacation, it didn't work on the first iteration. I was working on iOS and I just thought to myself, it doesn't work. But a few days later, I was a little frustrated on iOS because every state transition that I was trying was taking 40 seconds to return a value. And I was like, that makes no sense. The network should respond much faster. Like, so then I went in and I checked why um, uh, the new version that he made wasn't working. And it was literally because the port was not open. Yeah, the port hadn't been opened. So we opened the port and then everything worked. And what we saw was just wowing. The switch to Rust fixed whatever bug there was, and the state transitions were returning on the client in 1.3 seconds. That means that uh, in that 1.3 seconds, we sent the state transition to a first node. Uh, it was not even an Evo node, right? It would send the state transition to an Evo node. That Evo node would send it to the proposer. So already three links. The proposer would take it from their mempool and make a block with it, and then propose the block to the network. The block would be voted on, so it would be sent to 25 different nodes. 25 different nodes would vote first in a pre-vote, send all the votes around. Um, then in a pre-commit stage, send votes around. Another stage, make two BLS signatures, and then aggregate the state, create the stage, create the new block, commit the block, and then um, send the block to full nodes. The full node would then see that the block has been updated and then send it back to the client. And all that happened in 1.3 seconds, right, on testnet. That's insane. I was like in our tests, we never got down to 1.3 seconds ever. So it just shows that our system is extremely fast when you discount the JavaScript part that was written back in 2019 or so. The last part that we still had in JavaScript that, you know, was written by people that are no longer part of the project. So I can't really blame them that much. They're gone. Anyways, we need to release that ASAP so we can get everything working much nicer. So we're going to do this release in 2.1. Probably will be mid-September, maybe yeah, hopefully mid-September, we'll release it 2.1. It will contain some improvements for mobile, for SDKs, and we'll have this DAPI improvement as well. Cool. Okay. For WASM JS SDK, somebody tagged me in the markets channel in Discord. Don't do that ever. Please no. I'm not in that channel. But I got a what is it? A notification that I was tagged somewhere and I couldn't figure out where. And then finally I was like, no, it can't be. Somebody tagged me in the markets channel, and then I looked, and yes. So somebody I think the Desert Links, you said that we didn't have a token transaction or something like that. And then I realized that in the WASM JS SDK, there were 4 missing token transactions. I guess I overlooked it. Paul wrote them. So thank you, Paul. And then verified with the Fez, and we pushed that out. Well, I don't know if we released it to the website, but we did merge that in, so maybe we need to update the website. Paul?
Yes, thank you. I have spent the past sprints doing a lot of maintenance stuff on Dash Evo tool. There was a couple UI things that were bugging me, like one being the token creator just looking really messy. I think one of the big things I did there was fixing like all the drop downs for like defining groups and defining the action rules and stuff. That's been cleaned up quite a bit. It looks and flows a lot nicer. And some, yeah, I mean, some other UI stuff, but also doing some stuff like in the back end. I've been working with Lukasz. He's been kind of refactoring a lot of stuff to make future development a lot easier. We've been a little bit unorganized in Dash Evo tool with like defining the same thing multiple times throughout different screens and stuff. So Lukasz kind of set a standard for dealing with stuff like this, and I kind of worked with him on like designing that standard. And basically the first implementation of it was with this confirmation dialogue thing, boring stuff that only developers will care about if they work on Dash Evo tool. What else? Yeah, I kind of passed off SPV back to Pasta/Sam. I think mainly Sam at this point, and got back to, I had a bunch of PR reviews to do in Dash Evo tool. And I got started on the Dash Pay screen as well, since that should be something that we have soon, especially when the SPV is finished. Yeah, the thing that I'm most excited about is I jumped back into my research seat a bit the past 2 weeks, and am exploring something I'm really interested in. And but I don't want to mention it because I don't want to get people like excited too much, and then it pan out to be not something. But I think I had an interesting idea, and I'm kind of exploring that and putting together a proof of concept. So I'm hoping that it pans out and I can show something cool soon, but we'll see. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thanks.
Thank you, Paul. Let's continue with the core team.
Awesome.
Costa?
Sounds good. So, the past 2 weeks, one of the more kind of interesting forward-focused things, quite a few PRs got merged in, but a lot of them are more, developer backend focused, just general kind of progress. But one of the more interesting kind of user-focused things is I have a PR open right now for a GUI for creating governance proposals. And it is working well on testnet and is in review and testing right now. So that is exciting. We're definitely, it's kind of been, in some ways long overdue. And historically, it's been very annoying dealing with Qt and GUI, at least for me. And some modern tooling has made that aspect of it a lot nicer. So we have a PR open for that now. Um, Proof of service banning via platform should get merged in very soon. There are a couple of small things that we noticed in the latest round of review, so we want to get those fixed. But that we're gonna get that merged in soon, and then test it against platform at a later date. Um, Extended addresses and DML are making good progress. Eugene actually has a PR open right now, and or it just got merged, I forget, that simplifies some handling of a format that we use internally for the like masternode list diff state. Um, and basically the way that we were serializing stuff internally previously made it very annoying to grab the version that was being used when we serialized it, and that made it very hard to change the logic around serialization. And so PR6666 here had kind of a hacky solution that worked, but it wasn't very clean. And so we decided in reviewing 6666 to make a new PR that will kind of refactor and reorganize that version code to allow this PR to be a lot cleaner. So those two will get wrapped up very soon. Um, we do have I think I talked about it last time, talking about optimization of X11. I think at that point it was fully in progress. There is an open PR that is more so in review, so I probably should have updated that, but did not. So that's in review, and hopefully we'll get that merged in the near future. But a solid increase in performance just from X11 hashing. And then there are a number of various kind of index optimizations that I kind of bundled into one here. Um, Constantine is working on a parallelized quorum commitment verification. Quorum commitments are kind of especially during historical sync, are some of the things I think they take up 30 to 40% of all of the compute needed during syncing. And by parallelizing those, and because some of the blocks now have some 32 quorum commitments at one time, parallelizing that increases the throughput that we're able to do in syncing by quite a bit. So I don't have full data on that yet, but there are some other optimizations that he's worked on. There are some caching specific things here and there to improve syncing speed. So that's been a solid focus of Constantine's recently, and he's made some really good progress there. And once we have kind of pretty much all of those wrapped up, and as we get closer to a V23 release, we will have kind of some more stats around what the previous versions took to reindex and what this more optimized version will take. So I think we can move on to the next slide here. You can review the backport status here. We do still have the automated backporting system kind of going, and so we are making some solid progress there, and we're able to focus more on other stuff, which is always nice. But we can continue, and you can see the list of merged in PRs to right here. So a couple of backport batches, some various fixes, various testing improvements. There were a number of flaky or slow tests that we had in our functional test suite, and we've been able to improve those to increase velocity and also reduce the number of kind of false positives that we have. So that's been some solid progress, but I think we can call that a wrap and move on to mobile.
Great, thanks. Yep. All right. All right. So on Android, that was the majority of our last sprint, well, our whole sprint. We had some profile picture issues, which was resolved, excuse me, as well as upgrading to platform 2.0. And there was an issue with what we're calling a lost wallet password. So we're saving the password a few different ways now to resolve that. That rollout should be almost done, if not fully complete now in that version. For Dash Spend, we had to deal with some error handling to add the support email, CTX support email, in some cases, and on Piggy cards. We now have good access to all of the data from all sources, including what we're calling duplicate location data, where they are providing the same location for a particular merchant. This will help us on a support perspective when people run into situations where an address is wrong or maybe it's duplicated somewhere. We did finish the actual purchase of gift card via Piggy cards on testnet. We're now working to do it on mainnet. And then the scheduling of data loads. So now that we're pulling data from multiple sources, we've always had it scheduled from the one source, but now it's scheduled for both sources with some additional kind of monitoring on what changes have happened, new locations, removed locations, things like that. So yeah, pretty good progress on Android. Sam can go over iOS.
Yeah, so I just left this slide to show kind of where we had left off 2 weeks ago. So the state transitions, I got an identity transfer, identity withdrawal, all the token ones done. And then right afterwards, went to, next slide, please. The document create and data contract. So document create, basically you load the data contract that you want, and then it basically gives you the fields, and you can set, the fields, or then you can do a document replace, document delete, document set price. So this is for NFTs, set price, transfer, and purchase. Verified everything was working, everything is working. So the iOS library will support all of those. Then I created a data contract, and then I decided, for now, that's good enough. There are two more state transitions to verify, but I'll get them done after SPV is working. So I went on to SPV. So basically, we had a demo a few weeks ago by Pasta, where we saw header sync working, but there was a lot more to do in terms of getting your transactions. So I started working on a new library for basically a key wallet, and copying over the logic that existed in iOS that I wrote myself, actually, 8 years ago or so. So basically, what is a wallet? A wallet can come in multiple forms. It can have a mnemonic that's like, has everything there. In the Rust version, you could have a wallet with, an extra passphrase, an externally signed wallet, meaning that, for example, a hardware wallet, or we're probably going to use the externally signed wallet for iOS as well, where the keys are actually stored in your secure enclave, or not your secure enclave, your secure key wallet, not key wallet, keychain. Sorry. And then they only leave. They basically sign. It's more secure than sending the private key um, to the Rust library, which would leave it in memory. It's better that you deal with the memory more on the iOS side. A little bit safer, but we'll see. A seed-based wallet, an extended public key wallet that's view only, an extended private key wallet. So basically, seed-based wallet, mnemonic, and private key, extended private key, they're basically the same type. These are just they pretty much do the same thing. It wasn't like a lot of time to write every single different one here. No, it's just putting a different type and doing a little bit extra work if you have a mnemonic, because the mnemonic goes to the seed, goes to the extended private key, goes to the extended public key, basically, in that order. And BIP39 is just a little add-on on top. Yeah. So that's part of the key wallets system that we'll have in the new library I built. I added BIP38 key encryption support because we have BIP38 key encryption support in iOS right now, so we have to keep feature parity. We in our wallets we have wallet state management, last sync, and a lot of extra wallet info. Let's go to the next screen. So basically, the wallets have two sections. They have the stateless section, which is pretty much um, um, never changes, depending on what happens on the blockchain. That is the collection of accounts. Accounts are basically defined as a derivation path on your wallet plus an extended public key. On the other side, we have the managed wallet part, which has account management. And the account management actually has the current addresses and public scripts that need to be used for interacting with the network to get the transactions that you care about. So yeah, on the managed account, we have automatic address management, the masternode key accounts, identity registration top-up invitation accounts, BIP44, BIP32 accounts, CoinJoin accounts. So they all contribute to adding information that can later be checked against a filter that is sent from syncing nodes. I'll go a little bit more into detail right afterwards. Go in, next one. So basically what happens is a filter comes into the wallet manager. Should we download the block based on the scripts in all accounts? It's either yes or no. So if we hit a match, then we download the block from the network and we take all the transactions in the block and we send it in. We check all of them, and then we update all the account states based off of the found transactions, and then that the scripts that we're checking via the filter get updated. So that's basically how things work, and making a lot of progress. It's just a lot of work. The first time I did this in iOS, I spent about a year and a half. Um, right now, I would say, or maybe even 2 years. Right now, I would say that I've done about 1 year of my previous work so far in 2 weeks. So Yeah. I think there's going to be another 2 weeks to get SPV working. And then have a demo on iOS. So that's my aim for 2 weeks from now. And yeah, there's not going to be a demo today because it's just too much in the like it's all over the place right now. The code is you have to break a lot of things before things work, right? So we definitely are breaking things. I'm having AI write hundreds of unit tests to make sure everything is working properly. Things seem to be working properly in some places. We haven't yet even gotten an SPV working though. So like a chain download. So we're not far off. I think that will happen in the next week, and then I think fixes will happen for the following week. That's where I think we're at. So, any questions, guys?
All right, let's see the questions. So, first question from Joel, I believe. What is the functionality for the new iOS app being worth that's not DashPay? Okay.
What is it worth?
What is the functionality for the new iOS app being worked that's not DashPay?
Oh, what extra functionality will it have that isn't DashPay?
That is not DashPay.
So that really is a question for Brian as our head of product. But in terms, so there's the library, there's the iOS SDK, and then there's the wallet that people see, right? In terms of the wallet that people see, I believe it's just DashPay. In terms of the SDK and the iOS SDK and what it can do, it can do a lot of things like multi-account, multi-wallet, multi like sorry, it can sell NFTs, buy NFTs, it can do register data contracts, it can do a lot of things. I don't think we're going to have all of those in our default wallet because we don't want to overload new users with tons of things, right? It is possible though in the settings, maybe we add some features if Brian wants to. It also is possible that we release maybe a pro version, not I wouldn't call it a pro version, but the demo version that I'm making because it's been made with AI. The AI the UI isn't terrible, right? Maybe we release it. It's just like kind of like you can make all the state transitions in there if you want. Like doesn't look very nice, but maybe some people will. Some pro users like myself might want it. We'll see. We're not at that stage right now. We'll have to see where things fall in a few weeks.
Yeah, let's couple this with the next question. Next question. What is the full product scope long term of this app? And will there be an Android and or desktop equivalent?
Well, I mean, right now the goal is to match Android parity, right? So that's the goal from a user perspective because we don't have Dash Pay on iOS. In terms of the future, I mean, I talked with Hash Engineering. Once I build out the library, we're going to be making a Android version of that library. We're going to be pushing that Android version into the Android wallet because the the way that Android is currently built is using code that's somewhat unmaintained from you know, it would actually worked on Android, but it did not work on iOS. I think iOS has more rigorous memory verification, and that caused some crashes on iOS, and then we gave up and did it a different way. So, yep, I hope that answered the question.
Thank you. How soon can we have the premium username waiting period resolved? After no iOS support, this is the single biggest adoption barrier I've encountered.
I mean, this involves both, obviously, platform team, and I think we determined there might be some changes needed on core. I don't remember, but I mean, the priority right now is getting Dash Pay on iOS out the door. That's the number one priority. So once that's done, I do consider this to be a high priority item as well. We just have to see where it fits into things once Dash Pay is ready to go. We do have some kind of preliminary thoughts on how we can minimize that friction. We just have to come up with a final design, which we can't really delve into until we get Dash Pay done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thanks.
I agree with Brian.
Next question for Pasta. What happened to the assume UTXO PR? Is it done?
That is a good question. I think no. I believe Assume UTXO basically it was a project that we were trying to follow Bitcoin in parallel. I believe the Bitcoin development on it stalled out. And so like they had done, it was a series of PRs that Bitcoin was doing, and we were keeping up to date with them as much as possible. Either they stalled out or some of the later changes required more in-depth changes in core. Um, do you know who asked this? Alash?
XKCD.
Okay. Actually, I'll reach out to you with more information. I'll look into it and find out what ended up happening there.
All right. That was the last question for today. Thank you for being here, and see you in 2 weeks. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.